dream.
5 stages of bisexuality. Now, my friend over at Bisexual Real Talk made a video like this and it was excellent. I wanted to do something of my own. As I'm a younger person, I feel like I could kind of show a point of view of someone who's a little bit younger, but his content is great. You should definitely go check it out. I will put it in the description below and I will put a link to it as well because I definitely recommend watching his video. Now, I think the first stage of bisexuality, or realizing your bisexuality, or even discovering that you might be something different, sexually inclined in a different way, is observation. It starts off by seeing things, noticing little aspects of people you start to appreciate, and it starts to grow on you, like looking at someone's lips, looking at someone's eyes, looking at someone's body, you know, being attracted to someone doing physical sport. Like, there's little aspects which kind of start triggering off chain reactions where you notice one thing, you notice another, and then you start to question yourself and start asking, how do I feel about this? And I feel like it always comes to a point, like I remember realizing that I found the physical form of a man very attractive, and this was something what I found strange and not quite understanding. I remember pointing out to my friends one day that my friend had sick abs, and I found that incredibly attractive that he had good abs, but I didn't really realise what it was until later on in life when I started to realise that it's my sexuality starting to kick drive into warming up into who I am as a person. And this goes for the same for boys and girls. I believe that if you are bisexual, you will start to notice these things. I've always been quite attracted to women's lips, and I've been attracted to guys' abs, and I feel like small little aspects like that will make the difference into how you start to discover that you are bisexual. And even like when you start watching TV nowadays, the great thing about TV nowadays is that you'll start seeing like romances between two guys or two girls, and you start being drawn towards it, you start to find it more attractive, and I feel like that's another representation of observation. I think the next stage is realization, and that's realizing that you are bisexual, realizing that you are gay, realizing that you are, you know, gender fluid. These sort of things, it's the realization that you are different, and accepting it is hard. And I feel like my realizations when I started kissing guys, and I kind of like felt like it was just normal. I didn't kind of judge it as something as being bi or being gay or anything like that. But I remember kissing a guy, and I've spoke about this before, that, you know, I did all these things with these guys, and it took for one of them to say, oh, this is gay, where it kind of triggered me to revert back. And I feel like that's the next stage, that's denial, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I feel like realization is the stage where you start understanding and you start kind of accepting it. And this is where I say this goes two ways, because either you will accept it or you will completely deny it. And that's the stage what a lot of young people struggle with, a lot of older people struggle with. I feel like this is the stage which causes the depression in a lot of young LGBT members. It's that realization that you are different and you can't change this. This is who you are. I would say that with realization, you know, you start to look at things and you start to go, oh, I feel like it's inappropriate for me to look at. And, you know, it's such a hard time. And if you don't have anybody there, that's when it becomes a struggle. The third stage, and this is one what can be completely skipped, as I said, I feel like there is either 4 stages or there are 5 stages, and if you are going through the 5 stages, you are going through the hardest transition period of coming out, and that's when you go into denial. I went into this so hard, I went into this so bad that it caused me to go into depression, it caused me to have suicidal thoughts, it caused me not to want to go out, not to socialise, not to make friends. I remember I spent most of my childhood, from the age of 14 up to the age of 17, indoors just playing games, because I couldn't face the world. I didn't want people seeing who I was. I didn't want people clocking on that I may have done that, or I may have kissed a boy. Like, it's not something that people realise, it's something which only you can tell them, but it's something which I felt like I wanted to keep hidden, and I wanted to keep that mask up, so if I didn't go out and I didn't, you know, be around people, then they would never know. And I always feel like that was one of my problems in school. Like, I was friends with everybody, but I was really friends with no one at the same time, because I was trying to fit into so many different groups that I didn't quite fit in, because I couldn't like give myself completely to that friend group. Like, I wasn't a nerd, I wasn't a jock, I wasn't, you know, I'm going through American terms there, basically. I wasn't sporty, I wasn't nerdy enough, I wasn't, you know, artistic enough, I wasn't gothic enough, and I didn't fit into any of like the status quos. I kind of like blended between because I was a bit of everything, and I feel like I tried to be everything because I wanted to just fit in and feel normal. And this is the hard stage. This is the stage where I feel like you're going to struggle unless you talk to someone about it. You need to talk to someone about it. Just reach out to anybody who's gone through this, whether they're gay, whether they're, you know, just anything. Like, reach out to YouTubers. YouTubers are there because we've gone through it. We know what it's like to go through it, and I know how hard it is, and I know how hard it is to message someone and say, I need help with this, but don't be afraid, because as soon as you start letting that fear consume you, that's when you start going down a spiral, basically. But denial is the worst stage, and it's the stage what some people just can't break past, and I feel like that's because of society and the negatives, but I feel like we're changing that. I feel like we're making the difference now, where kids can start to come out. You know, you've got like the Trevor Project where you can go and talk to someone, you've got YouTubers where you can go talk to someone, you've got forums where you can go talk to someone. You know, there are like so many apps where you can talk to people about it. So if you are going through that denial stage, please message me. Feel free to ask anything, because I don't want you feeling like you're alone, because no one deserves to feel that way. Then the fourth stage, and I feel like this is the great one. This is the one which you will get to, and that's acceptance. And acceptance is the most important one. Realising that you are bisexual and realising that that's okay. There's nothing wrong, but just because you're bisexual doesn't mean you have to live a completely different life. Just because you're bisexual doesn't change your personality. This is a lot of things what people have to factor in, is they feel like once they come out, where people are going to start going, oh wow, he's like that, I ain't going to hang out with him. No, most normal people will just go, okay, that's the way you live your life, you know. And you gotta remember, sexuality isn't a lifestyle. It's a sexual preference. Once you accept yourself, you can start loving yourself, and once you start loving yourself, you can love someone else. Because I know it sounds cliche, but RuPaul has it bang on right. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to love anybody else? Because that's the most important thing. If you can accept yourself and love yourself for who you are, you can give all your love to somebody else. Where I know a lot of us are lonely, we want to meet someone, but if you don't accept yourself and you live in denial, how is that person going to ever accept you for being 100% you? Because you're never going to be 100% you. You have to be completely transient, completely, you know, almost tranquil with it, just peaceful, at peace with who you are. And I feel like that's a very important stage, acceptance. And it took me a long time. I'm not going to say it's going to take, you know, hours, days, weeks. It can take years. It took from the age of me losing my virginity to the age of 19 before I accepted it. There's a lot of years in between there, and I feel like that was a hard period for me. That was either make or break, and I'm glad I got through it, and I'm glad I had friends who I could talk to about it. Like Joey was someone who really changed my views on life, and I can't thank him enough, because in a way he kind of helped pull me through and show you that once you come out, life is great. Because you know what, you can say piss off to people who kind of deny who you are, and you can accept who you are and be friends with the people you want to be friends with, because there will be people who see past the whole point of you being bisexual or being gay, and they will be happy just because you are you, and that's who they want to be friends with. I think the final stage is something which you kind of get to without even realising it, and that's embracing it and owning it. Once you've come out and once you've told everybody, and you know, once you know who you are, you can be confident with who you are, and it makes you a better, stronger person. I feel like a lot of people go through the coming out period and it's hard and it's difficult, but they don't realise how much that's built them up as a person, which shows them how difficult life can be and how they can get through things. And I feel like once you get to the stage of embracement, you can start helping others. I feel like that's the most rewarding experience that I have as not only a YouTuber, but as a bisexual man. I can pass on that information to other bisexual men or women and try and help them out. I've had loads of kids message me saying, oh, I'm bisexual, I don't know how to handle it, and I've just gave them a few words, and like they've come back and they've said they've come out to their parents. It's made a huge difference. It's helped them out so much, and that is the most rewarding experience that I can have. That is the most important thing to me. It's helping you guys out. It's helping everybody out who needs that help. And I feel once you get to that stage of embracement, life just gets better. So everybody, did you like that video? If you did, please give it a massive thumbs up because it helps me out so much. It also helps out everybody who watches it, who needs this sort of video. It helps them people out so much. And is there any stages that I have missed out? Is there any stages that you went through your coming out experience as bisexual, coming out as gay, as coming out as, you know, gender fluid or anything in the LGBT? Is there any stages that you feel like I have missed out? If so, put it in the comments below because I'm sure someone will read through it, it will help somebody out and it will make the difference to their day or make the difference to who they become. And if we work together, we can make this world a better place. I'm going to say love, peace and chicken grease. I'll see you next time.